What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto's sister was trained by his parents while he awakened the eyes of eternity? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. It started as an amazing day for Yondaime Hokage and his pregnant wife, Uzumaki Kushina. Today was the 10th of October, due date for pregnancy. Twins have been born. First one was whisker-marked boy with light amethyst eyes and little tufts of red hair on his head. His name was Naruto. Second one to leave the mother's womb was a girl with bright blue eyes and small tufts of blonde hair, Kasumi. Though, all great things end. And this was no difference. Secret hideout where Kushina was giving birth, which was protected by Anbu members, was attacked. Anbu were quickly defeated, and an unknown attacker easily slipped through barrier. Through using child as a hostage, he was able to separate Minato Namikaze from his wife, and ripped out Kyuubi from red-haired mother's stomach. He used his Kekkei Genkai, Sharingan, to manipulate and control the great-tailed fox, using it to attack Leaf Village. Fourth Hokage stopped the orange-masked man. Later on, he used a forbidden technique developed by Uzumaki clan to summon Shinigami for sealing, the dead demon consuming seal. Said technique required user's soul as sacrifice, trapping it for eternity inside Fiend's stomach, cursed for non-stop battles. He sealed Kyuubi's yin half back into Kushina for her to survive, while sealing the yang half into his daughter, Kasumi. Reason? Simple. With having Kyuubi extracted from her, Kushina wouldn't live unless it was sealed back into her. But he couldn't just seal entire Kyuubi into her. She was greatly weakened and having such incredible power rush through her chakra coils so suddenly might have destroyed them, so he sealed only half. For another half, he chose Kasumi instead of Naruto, because from what he knew, only female Uzumaki were able to manifest chakra chains, and that would be great help when trying to control the nine-tailed fox. However, that day a miracle happened. Yondaime Hokage survived. He had no idea why, not even his wife could explain such strange phenomenon. But you know what they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. So he didn't and continued living his life happily. Time skip 4 years. Coming years after the attack had been great for Namikaze family. Minato had not revealed about Masked Man to anyone but 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, village elders and clan heads. He made them swear secrecy and revealed full details of incident, while telling the rest as such. During his wife's, Kushina's childbirth, Kyuubi forced its way out of the seal and attacked the village. It had been successfully resealed into his wife and his daughter. After carefully explaining to everyone that being host of Tailed Beast didn't mean being Tailed Beast itself, he asked them to think of his wife and daughter as a hero for keeping the monster at bay, protecting the village from such grave danger. The village did so, mostly showering their gratitude onto the younger Jinchuriki. Right now, he was in his office, doing the godforsaken paperwork. Come on, all it takes is a minor Kaiden jutsu to burn this paper, Minato. Do it. Yeah, this paperwork would drive him insane one of these days. Still struggling with paperwork, Minato? Said a voice from behind. Minato sighed, though inwardly he was grateful for distraction. Looking at the origin of the voice, he replied in mock annoyed tone. Must you always use the window, Jiraiya-sensei? It's quicker than the door, chuckled Jiraiya as he jumped from window into the office. However, his mood quickly went from humorous to serious. The Hokage's face forgone all the humor as well. It was quite rare to see his sensei become serious, and when he did it was because of something very important. I received a message from a toad messenger to go to Mount Myoboku. Apparently, Great Toad Sage had a vision, said Jiraiya. After seeing Minato's questioning look, he explained. Prophecy states that your child is destined for great things. He also said it was the reason Shinigami left you alive. Your existence was necessary for that to happen. Minato's eyes widened. Since Nine Tails was sealed inside Kasumi, he immediately thought that she was the one prophecy spoke about. After all, she had blonde hair and blue eyes just like him, though already showing her impatient and brash side she inherited from Kushina. Time skipped 2 years, 6 years after Kyuubi attack. Naruto sat in the swing that was in the backyard of his family's house, observing Kushina and his twin, who was training in chakra control. Since Minato was busy with Hokage duties and all, raising and training their children became Kushina's responsibility. Not that she minded. At young age of 7, Naruto had spiky crimson hair, light amethyst eyes, with slightly angled and slim eye shape. His face was very similar to how Minato's has been when he was same age as him, but slightly slimmer, with edges bit more pronounced. Also, it was rather ironic that it was him with whisker marks, not his sister. His sister had long straight blonde hair, blue eyes like their father, with face just like their mother's when she was same age as them. Not that they knew much about how their parents looked like in childhood, of course. He still didn't understand why his parents have refused to train him. Flashback start. 1 month ago. After hearing about his mother telling Kasumi that she would start her kunoichi training tomorrow, Naruto called out to her. Ka-san. After Kushina turned to him, he asked hopefully, "Since you will be training Kasumi, can you train me as well?" Kushina thought about this. She knew firsthand how dangerous the fox was. She wanted to start Kasumi's training as fast as possible. But she didn't really want to sadden Naruto, so she decided. Naruto, because Kasumi contains you-know-what. Training her is very important. Seeing as her son was about to protest, she raised her hand, cutting him off and continued. "But, I suppose I can teach you the basics." Naruto happily nodded, his 7-year-old mind not really understanding how far the basics went. Flashback end. Well, then Naruto discovered that basics uncovered simple leaf concentration practice and using chakra to temporarily increase his limbs' power, which every ninja used to jump higher and make their punches and kicks hit harder than ones of a civilian. When he complained about it, Kushina slightly harshly told off, saying that she fulfilled her deal of teaching the basics and that he would be taught more after he entered the ninja academy. But, having inherited more than hair and eyes from his mother, he didn't give up, observing what his Kushina taught from afar and then trying on his own. But seeing as leaf concentration practice could only help him so far, having all but perfected said exercise, being able to stick many leaves to his body and various places, he rummaged a bit in Ninja's part of the library, where he sneaked into, and found tree and water walking exercises. Considering he was just 6, there wasn't much of a rush, since he was already ahead of his sister, so he decided that he would start learning tree walking technique tomorrow. Tomorrow, evening 8 p.m. Uchiha Shisui was returning back home after another day in Anbu, and a rather tiring one if he would say himself. Having just finished a rescue mission, unsurprisingly successfully rescuing several Konoha ninjas from a small band of missing nins. It wasn't very hard, but it took quite some time to find the targets, which were pretty far away, exterminate the missing nins and bringing ninjas back to Konoha. Unlike some other ninjas, who would just simply jump from building to building, he preferred to slowly walk back to Uchiha compound. On his way there, he heard some noise, rather, grunts of pain. Curious and cautious about what was causing the voice, he jumped into trees and stealthily made his way to the origin of the sound, which took him to a small clearing inside the village. What he saw, though, quickly captured his interest. There was a young boy, 6 years old at best, trying to run up a tree, taking several steps before falling to ground, sometimes on his back or head, which was the reason why he heard those grunts. Wait, isn't that Hokage-sama's son? He thought as he recognized the child. But why was he out here, training on his own? Why would he be training on his own? Wouldn't his family be teaching him? And isn't the tree walking exercise a tad bit too early for a young boy like him? He was interrupted out of his musings as Naruto ran up higher into the tree, but by the looks of it, exhaustion had caught up with him and he slipped, unable to right himself in the air. Seeing this, Shisui quickly crossed the distance between himself and red-headed boy and caught him in the midair before he hit the ground. Naruto looked up, surprised, not expecting that he wasn't alone and someone caught him. He's been alone on this training ground since the noon, starting with physical exercises, returning home for dinner and then coming back, trying to learn tree walking. Shisui smiled down at the young boy. "May I know the reason you are all the way out here, alone?" he asked. "I'm training," replied Naruto, pridefully, despite the exhaustion. Perhaps he is a bit too eager and impatient, like I was? I can see that, but what I'm asking is why are you training on your own, away from your family, Naruto? Naruto wasn't all that surprised that Shisui recognized him, being Hokage's son and all. "Ka-san isn't training me anymore. Leaf concentration practice and few other things are all that she taught me, but I completed them already," he said with a frown. "Maybe that's because that's enough for now for someone as young as you? Really, slight physical conditioning, Kunai and shuriken throwing and bit of necessary information was all that clan children were taught before they entered the academy. No, it's not. She still continued to train my sister. Shisui's eyes slightly hardened at that, but he quickly reined in his composure and Naruto didn't notice anything. Even if Kasumi was a Jinchuriki, that was favoritism, and parents should never prefer one child over another. I see. Why don't I drop you off at your home now, and we can meet here at morning, 7 a.m. sharp. I can give you some tips. Naruto's eyes brightened at that, and he nodded vigorously. Next day, morning. Naruto woke up early, excited for the day. Quickly making himself some easy breakfast, he ate it and after leaving a note to his parents, set out towards the small clearing for the meeting with Uchiha Shisui. He learned the name during their trip back to his home. Getting there, he sat down, waiting, since he arrived 10 minutes early. After 10 seemingly agonizingly slow minutes have passed, Shisui arrived right at time. Young Uchiha Anbu had gotten a day off from his Anbu duties and was going to spend most of the day with young male Namikaze. Hello, Naruto, he greeted, as Naruto greeted back. After the small banter, they got to work. So, I've noticed that you were trying to do tree walking exercise? Asked the Uchiha, and after seeing boy nod, he continued, before you got tired. You've been putting too much chakra into the soles of your feet, hence why you were constantly getting blown off the tree. Instead of running start, as is the most popular way, try going to the tree and put your foot on it first. Then, regulate your chakra and every few moments try to take it off without stopping channeling your chakra. Do so until your foot is securely clinging onto the tree. Repeat same thing with your other foot, and then focus on it and start with a running start. What's important is to keep your concentration on the amount of chakra you release and not let it slip while running up the tree. Naruto nodded and did so. Shisui watched him and was amazed by how quickly Naruto learned it with some small tips. If all it took him is slightly over 5 minutes to learn it, what were his parents doing? If they aren't training him, they could have at least helped him by giving some advice. Do they not pay any attention? Putting those thoughts aside, he focused on Naruto as he saw him grin and run up and down the tree happily and smiled. Now, Naruto, from what I've heard from you, physical exercises are what you do during first part of the day, correct? After seeing boy nod he continued, what I want you to do, is to complete all those exercises while on the tree. Gravity will make it more difficult, as well as staying on the tree will slowly drain you chakra, increasing both control and size of it as you stay there for so long. Naruto nodded, with determination burning in his eyes as he got to work. Shisui has stayed there for hours, watching the young boy. To say he was impressed would be an underestimate. Naruto had fallen off the tree several times, but quickly got back to work, not single time complaining about anything, ignoring the pain and training as hard as he could. He did a lot of squats, push-ups and so on. The fact that he had fallen off only few times, considering large size of his chakra reserves, was very impressive, but that's not why Shisui took liking to the boy. Naruto has very strong will, not giving up, he realized, maybe I should take him as a student? He's got guts, and doesn't have a sensei, Kushina-sama doesn't train him, and I do need a student to have him compete with Itachi's younger brother. He was almost drooling at image of Itachi getting angry, or at least irritated at having his little brother's ass kicked by a rival. And he does suit me. He's smart, determined, and very talented. Yes, I'm sure you would do. Hey, Naruto, he called out, getting the said boy's attention. I was thinking, how about you become my student? After hearing that, Naruto's grin became so wide that it almost split his face. Really? After seeing Shisui nod he replied, of course. Thank you. And so started the story of the boy that would become a legend. Time skip 1 year later, 7 years after Kyuubi incident. Naruto yawned as he woke up. Getting up, he went to bathroom to complete the usual morning rituals. He has greatly grown up in past year, from all kinds of teachings of Shisui sensei, ranging from meditation to difficult physical exercises, chakra control. He already started learning nature transformation, leaving Academy 3 techniques for Academy. Flashback start. 1 month ago, Shisui arrived to his student's personal training ground. Well, personal because it was rarely used, considering its small size, and so far Naruto was only one who trained here. He was very proud of his student. Naruto was smart, talented, determined. He never complained on any task he has given him, Save for a little bit of pouting on meditation lessons, of course. No matter how hard or painful the task, Naruto always did his best to complete it, and if need be, would train to unconsciousness. Of course, he was just a kid and Shisui wouldn't push him this far, but he knew Naruto good enough to know that he would work to his limit and then some if he was ordered to. He didn't regret taking a student one bit. Of course Shisui talked with Minato and Kushina about taking Naruto as a student, but both assured him that it was alright, thinking it wouldn't sadden Naruto as much now that he had his own sensei, just like Kasumi. Stopping his musings, Shisui came out of tree's cover and announced his presence. "Hey, Naruto." Turning his head, Naruto saw his favorite teacher and best friend and smiled. In just a year, he and young Uchiha had grown together so much that he considered him an older brother. "I might not have great relationship with my family, but at least I have Shisui," would be his answer if you would have asked him. "Hello, sensei. Naruto, I think it would be good for you to start basic nature transformation exercises, so I brought this," he finished, taking out a rectangle-shaped piece of paper. "Cool, but how will that paper help me?" asked the ever-curious Naruto. "This, here is the chakra paper. All you have to do is channel bit of chakra into it and it will show you your natural affinity." "Cool, give me." As Naruto channeled chakra into the paper, it cleanly split in two. "Eh? Did I do something wrong, sensei?" he asked. Shisui chuckled and shook his head. "No, Naruto. In fact, I'm quite surprised that you have wind affinity, it is quite rare here in Konoha." Upon Naruto's questioning look, he elaborated. "That paper is made out of special trees that are fed chakra. When you channel chakra into it, there are 5 things that might happen. It might burn, meaning that user has fire affinity, or wrinkle, meaning the lightning affinity, crumple, meaning earth affinity, or dampen, meaning water affinity, or get cut, meaning wind affinity, such as yours." Naruto nodded as he digested the information. "You said that wind is rare. Is it good or bad?" "Good question. It doesn't mean anything, really, if you can get the information about training said element and techniques, and no element is the strongest, all have weaknesses and advantages. For example, wind is strong against lightning but weak against fire. Fire is weak against water. Water is weak against earth. Earth is weak against lightning. Everyone has an affinity towards an element, but it doesn't mean they can't use other elements. For example, other elements will be more taxing and weaker than wind techniques for you. Usually, Jonins start learning to master second element after mastering their affinity, in order to compensate for their weakness. Now, Naruto, I want to tell you something first. Elemental training is something that ninjas usually being to practice after reaching rank of Chunin, as it is very difficult and dangerous. I have faith in you and honestly believe that you can do this, but always be careful and don't try anything without asking me first, okay? Naruto grinned and nodded. Of course, Shisui-sensei. I'll learn this elemental training in no time and won't disappoint you. Shisui smiled and then said, "Good. Now, I want you to take a leaf and try to cut it with your chakra. I am fire element user, and as such, I can't tell you much right now, but I'll ask for some tips around the village and tell you when I find anything." Naruto nodded and taking a leaf, started training. Flashback end. Putting those thoughts aside, Naruto went down to kitchen. Family was already seated at table, waiting for him to start eating. Nodding a greeting, he sat down and after quick, "Itadakimasu," they started eating. "Has anything interesting happened today, Minato?" asked Kushina. Dunno. Why ask? When you came home yesterday, you were kinda of a giddy." "Oh, that. Kumo has sent a messenger to sign a peace treaty. Another step closer to peace, I suppose." Kushina just smiled. Her husband's devotion towards creating and maintaining peace was admirable, but she did miss him a lot, with him cooped up in his office, doing the god-forsaken paperwork all the time. Minato decided to carry on the conversation to their kids. "So, kids, excited about going to Hyuga's? Today was birthday of Hyuga Hinata, and since she was heiress of major clan, a lot of people were invited, including Hokage's family." Kasumi's eyes brightened up on mention of one of her close friends' name, though Naruto didn't share her enthusiasm. I don't understand why I have to go," he grumbled. Kushina sighed, "Because, Naruto, it would be rude to not go on someone's birthday once you're invited. And she and your sister are close friends, another reason for you to go." "Yeah, right. It would be rude to not go on birthday of someone you've only seen once, Barely know her name, and she couldn't even utter one word after seeing me," complained Naruto with sarcasm almost literally dripping from his voice. "Naruto, this is final. Stop complaining and eat." He pouted, but did as ordered. After all, he knew better than to piss off his mom. He still shuddered when he remembered how she almost drowned him in the bathtub when he adamantly refused to bath. It happened few years ago, but served as a good reminder of how vicious his habanero of a mother could be. Hyuga compound, 30 minutes later. Naruto sighed. It was so boring. All clan heads and their families have been invited, as well as some important figures of the village such as third Hokage. Hinata and her girly friends, as Naruto called them, were playing quietly in the corner, while he sat with his above acquaintances, almost friends, which were Shikamaru and Choji. He stayed with them since Shikamaru was just as bored as him, being quiet and not bothering anyone, while Choji just sat by, eating chips as usual. Speaking of Choji, he finally got tired of uncomfortable silence. Well, uncomfortable for him, Shikamaru was more than satisfied with it. "So guys, are you excited about starting academy next week?" Now that he thought about it, Naruto was quite excited. It would bring him one step closer to being a ninja. "Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna become best ninja ever." Well, Naruto may have been smart and mature for his age, but he still was 7-year-old, and sometimes such sudden exclamations were allowed. Damn it. Troublesome. "I don't want to go, but I don't think I have a choice. Who knows, perhaps teacher will just keep quiet and let me sleep." Both Naruto and Choji sweat dropped at his incredibly insane laziness. Suddenly, Naruto noticed someone interesting in the party. Uchiha Sasuke. Small Uchiha wasn't going to play with little girls, and there was no way he was gonna stay with Naruto. They had met few times, meetings arranged by Shisui and Itachi. They sparred most of the time though, with Sasuke losing every single time, which led him to glare at Naruto every time they were together. Hey, perfect. Well, Naruto was bored, and teasing Sasuke was an easy way to pass time. "Be right back guys, just found a new source of entertainment," he told Shikamaru and Choji before he stealthily sneaked up to Sasuke. Getting behind him, he whispered in Uchiha's ear. "Bored, are we?" Sasuke whirled around with speed rivaling Flying Thunder God technique, eyes widened, though they quickly set into their usual patented Uchiha glare N3. Naruto smirked inwardly. Messing with Lil Sasu was so much fun, even though Sasuke was actually a month older than him. "What do you want?" he demanded, hostility obvious in his voice. Naruto put a mock-hurt face, pouting. "Can I not check on what my friend is doing?" with same fake tone that made him look like his was on verge of crying. But Sasuke wasn't buying any of it. "Bullshit," he suddenly stopped mid-sentence when he felt hair on back of his neck stand up. Slowly turning around, he saw his ever-cute mother looking at him with a rather scary scowl, making him wince in fear. "Language, young man. It's his fault. I swear," he said, pointing behind him. "Whose fault?" he mother asked, confused. Sasuke blinked. How could an Uchiha, infamous for the eyes, not see a scarlet-haired boy behind him? He once again stopped mid-sentence to find place where Naruto was moments ago vacant. Tick mark developed on his forehead. That son of a oomph. And once again he was interrupted in form of his enraged mother punching his face into the floor. "I'll get you for this, scarlet-haired devil." Naruto had his hands firmly pushed against his mouth, doing best to not fall on floor, laughing, though snickers still escaped him. Nothing was more fun than messing with ever-cool Sasuke. He kinda understood why Shisui loved to irritate Itachi. But he couldn't hold it in himself anymore, and quietly left the house, entering backyard, where girls and some boys were playing, his snickers escalating into suppressed chuckles. Well, no matter how much he took after his father, Kushina was his mother after all, and there was no way at least some of her prankster nature wasn't going to be passed on onto him. But his chuckles soon stopped suddenly as he saw something strange. Back in the shadows, a guy was carrying large black sack. Deciding to investigate, he followed stealthily, or as stealthily as he could. Few minutes before, with Hinata. "Hey guys, I'll go to bathroom and be back soon," said Hinata timidly. Today was going okay so far. Even Kasumi's brother came, though it didn't take Byakugan to know that he wasn't all that excited about it. But she didn't let that destroy her mood. Playing with friends was quiet fun, when compared to usual quiet days at her home. seeing her father's disappointment towards her when losing in a spar. Finishing business, she came out of bath, ready to return to her friends when the unexpected happened. She felt sharp pain in her neck and blacked out. Kumo Jonin ambassador sighed in relief. He knew that if he gave her time to even utter a small scream, he would be noticed away. And he did not want to be targeted with hostility in middle of powerful clan compound with every single clan head from Konoha, even the Yondaime Hokage himself. Putting the Hyuga heiress into the bag and, after hefting her over shoulder, continued with his kidnap. Part 1, complete. Now Part 2, to get the hell out of here. Back with Naruto, present time. Clouds? Isn't that Kumo's symbol? His father did say some guy from Kumo came to sign peace treaty, but while he didn't know what was inside that sack, he had a feeling that it had nothing to do with peace. As they left the Hyuga compound, he decided that hiding was enough and using his element of surprise, launched an attack in form of several shuriken. Though, looks like his element of surprise didn't exist, considering Kumo Ninja was a Jonin, and it was easy to him to know that he was followed, especially when follower was 7-year-old boy. Cursing in his mind, Naruto jumped in front of the ninja. Said ninja raised eyebrow. Some brat? Here I thought I was in trouble. Step aside or I'll just go through you, squirt, he declared arrogantly. Well, it seemed arrogant Naruto, but any adult would understand that a Jonin had no reason to be wary of a small kid. When Naruto didn't move, ninja scoffed and tried to jump over the boy. But said boy would have none of it, jumping up as well. Stubborn, are we? He said as he kicked Naruto with speed that scarlet-haired boy couldn't follow, getting thrown back and hitting a tree. Only reason he didn't turn into a colorful paint for a tree was that he used chakra to temporarily strengthen his body, just like his mother had taught him. Who knew, basics do actually help in real combat. Jonin just tsked and prepared to leave when he heard the boy mutter, wait. Turning around, he saw boy getting up slowly. He sighed. While Konoha was enemy, he didn't actually enjoy hurting, much less killing children, but this one left him no choice. Taking out a kunai, he charged at Naruto, intending to kill him quickly. Naruto's eyes widened, seeing his enemy shinobi approach quickly. He froze in fear. Was this it? Die to rescue something he had no idea what it even was? No, I won't let it end like this, no way. And then something happened. He didn't know what or why, but suddenly he could see better. Everything in so much detail, every dust particle, chakra in ninja's circulatory system. He was able to see enemies' muscles twitch slightly, able to determine exact trajectory of his weapon, which led to his heart. Movements he was unable to catch before were now much clearer. Sidestepping and turning to right, he surprised Jonin that he was able to dodge the attack, even if Kumo Nin's speed was not even halfway close to his full speed, and surprising the enemy, channeled chakra into sole of his right foot, sticking to surface, while channeling quite a bit of chakra into his left leg, reinforcing, empowering and speeding it up, driving it into ninja's gut. Not bad, thought Kumo Nin as he felt the knee hit him. While not exactly strong enough to force the air out of him, for a 7-year-old, it was quite strong. But he was still surprised that boy was able to dodge him. Granted, he charged slower than his kick before, but even some genin might have had some trouble dodging him. Turning around to look at the boy, his eyes widened to size of saucers. Sharingan? Amazing. Boy looked just 7, yet he already had awakened the eye. What a lucky day. Both Sharingan and Byakugan in one catch. This was gonna benefit his village greatly. Charging at the boy, he swung his free left hand at boy's head in form of haymaker, but boy dodged him. Lashing out with a kick, boy dodged it again. Granted, he was right-handed, with Hyuga heiress on his shoulder, slowing him down, since she was a kid and he had to be careful to not snap her neck or back in a sudden movement. And even then he didn't go his top speed he could right now. It was impressive for a kid to dodge. Tired of having boy dodge him constantly, he lashed out with another kick, this time much faster than before, catching Naruto in face, throwing him back. Combined with hard kick and hitting back of his head on hard bark of tree, Naruto finally lost consciousness. Kumo Jonin smirked triumphantly and went to pick up the boy as well when the terrifying demon in form of angry father Namikaze Minato arrived in a flash between him and young boy. Kumo shinobi paled. Having yellow flash as enemy meant you were dead. Having angry yellow flash as enemy, well, just thinking about it drove him to verge of shitting himself. Needless to say, battle, if one-sided ass-kicking could be called that, was over in less than a second. What hit me, was Naruto's first thought as he woke up with small headache. Blinking his eyes groggily, he adjusted to the light. Looking around, he noticed that he was in his room. Then, memories of what happened resurfaced. Fighting enemy, getting his ass kicked. Could it be? During the fight, when his vision improved, he had no idea why it happened, and honestly, during the heat of battle, he didn't care. But now, perhaps, it could be. Namikaze clan were related to Uchiha, even if very distantly. But it's been decades, if not centuries, since it has been last awakened by a Namikaze. But even if he did awaken Sharingan, how would he activate it? Channeling his chakra into his eyes, nothing happened. He sighed, perhaps it was just sweet thinking. Doing it one last time, just for the kicks of it, his eyes widened as vision improved just like it did during the fight. Jumping out of the bed, ignoring slight aches in his body, he ran into bathroom and looked into the mirror. Amazing. I can't believe it. The Sharingan. Quickly getting dressed, he ran down the stairs. Naruto? Is that you? Are you okay? You shouldn't be running like that. Barely hearing his mother, he replied quickly, slowing down. I'm fine, Ka-san, as good as new. I gotta go now, be soon back. Tuning out his Kushina, even if he did lie, considering he still had headache and slight aches all over the body as well, he ran out of building towards Uchiha compound, where he knew his sensei resided. Jumping from rooftop to rooftop, wanting to get there quickly, he barely greeted Uchiha guards, who already knew him since he visited Shisui before, ran into Shisui's house. Hey, Shisui, he greeted hastily. Said Uchiha looked up from coffee he was drinking. It was morning after all, and he had a day off from his Anbu duties. Hi, Naruto. What brings you here? He said with a raised eyebrow and small grin. He didn't really mind Naruto's presence, in fact, he enjoyed it a great deal. There's something amazing I want to show you. And without even waiting for a reply, he closed his eyes, and opening them, showed his blood-red eyes. Isth that. Sharingan? Shisui spit out his coffee, gaping like a fish and eyes widening as he gazed into Naruto's Sharingan, with one tomo in left eye, while two tomo in his right. Meanwhile in Kumo, Raikage's office. Raikage-sama, there is a letter addressed directly to you from Konoha, said his busty assistant, Mabui. Raising his eyebrow, he told her to give him the letter. Message from Yellow Flash? Why would that cursed blonde send him a message? Letter was written concerning attempted kidnap of Hyuga heiress and son of Minato. After reading the letter, even Raikage's face was red, though was it from rage or the colorful words used in the message was unknown. Mabui thought he was blushing. He had read letter out loud, and she herself was tomato red. Well, Minato considered himself generous. If it was Kushina who decided to make a response, Kumogakure no Sato would be missing few mountains. Shisui spit out his coffee, gaping like a fish and eyes widening as he gazed into Naruto's Sharingan, with one tomo in left eye, while two tomo in his right. How? Was the only word he could utter in his rather shocked state. Naruto grinned. Yesterday, when fighting the enemy ninja, he replied. Wait, what? Thought Shisui. When? Fought a enemy ninja? When? Where? Why? He showered him with questions, not leaving any time to answer. Whoa, wait. One at a time. Okay. I fought him yesterday, near to Hyuga compound, and he had something in the large black sack, so I followed him. After leaving the walls of Hyuga's, we fought, though he defeated him. But I think my father arrived and took care of him, not sure since I lost consciousness after a hard kick. Cool, right? Shisui's eyes widened even more if possible. Cool? He could have died. Wait, you fought the Kumo-janin? The ambassador that came to sign that fake peace treaty and attempted to kidnap the Hyuga heiress? Are you okay? He asked, still in shock. Naruto blinked, but then his grin got even wider. So Hinata was inside that bag, huh? Wait, you said he was a Jonin? Cool. I fought a Jonin and even hit him once. And I'm okay, really, sensei. Just little aches and that's it. Shisui could only sigh. He had almost death experience and he talks about it as if it was fun. Come on, sensei. Let's go to training ground, I want to test my eyes out. Shisui grinned and nodded. How could he refuse his little student? Getting dressed, he and Naruto quickly ran to their private training ground and after few stretches and warm-ups they were ready. Okay, Naruto, before we begin, let me explain exactly how Sharingan works and its abilities. The Sharingan's abilities consist of two parts: the Eye of Insight and the Eye of Hypnotism. The first of the Sharingan's powers is being able to see chakra flow. The Sharingan itself gives color to chakra, allowing the wielder to differentiate people, and are also able to tell if a person is under a genjutsu because the person's chakra flow would be irregular. The Sharingan's second most prominent ability grants the user an incredible clarity of perception, allowing them to easily recognize genjutsu and different forms of chakra, though not to the same extent as the Byakugan. This also allows the user to pick up on subtle details, enabling them to read lip movements or mimic something like pencil movements. As the Sharingan evolves, gaining more tomo, this ability extends to being able to track fast-moving objects before finally giving some amount of predictive capabilities to the user, allowing them to see the image of an attacker's next move from the slightest muscle tension in their body and counterattack or dodge without any wasted movement. But even though the user may be able to see an attack or know it is coming, their body may not always have time to react, so physical training is very important. The Sharingan's third and most well-known ability is that it grants the user the ability to copy almost any technique that he or she witnesses, apart from other Kekkei Genkai techniques. The user can memorize ninjutsu, genjutsu and taijutsu with near-perfect accuracy, allowing the user to use the techniques as their own, or even modify them to create their own new techniques. In order to reproduce a copied technique, however, one must have the necessary skill or ability to perform them. In addition to physical skill and Kekkei Genkai techniques, the Sharingan cannot reproduce techniques dependent on other factors, such as summons that the user has not signed a contract with. When the Sharingan is first activated by a user, it has a different number of tomo around the central pupil, varying between users. The wielder of the Sharingan, through continued use and training, changes its form further, which involves the eye maturing fully until it has 3 tomo. As the Sharingan develops, the user gains heightened abilities through the heightened ocular sense. For example, they can at least copy hand movements with 1 tomo, predict a person's movement and copy techniques with 2, and completely use the Sharingan's all abilities when it is fully matured. Naruto's mouth was watering more and more as he listened to Shisui. Sharingan was amazing, sugoi. But sensei, I have 2 tomos in one eye while 1 tomo in another, what does that mean? Not sure, but I think it should give you minimal ability to track high-speed movements as well as ability to see chakra and know if you are in genjutsu. Redhead just grinned. So, how do we improve my Sharingan? Asked scarlet-haired kid as his sensei grinned sadistically. Very easy, Naruto, I'll throw real weapons at you and fight you slightly more seriously, forcing you to your limits and evolving your eyes. And we start. Now. He threw 4 shuriken with one hand while 4 kunai with another, though nowhere near his full speed. Naruto's eyes didn't show much surprise though, which slightly confused Shisui, but before he could do anything Naruto had easily dodged the weapons. Uchiha's eyes widened slightly. Even though he didn't put much power in the throw, he had element of surprise. But Naruto didn't seem surprised at all. There was no way Naruto could have dodged them so easily. That only meant, Naruto, listen. There's something more I got to tell you. He said. As he got Naruto's attention, he continued, sometimes, some users develop more special, stronger Sharingan. Those special eyes are sometimes much more advanced than normal, usually either in Eye of Hypnotism or Eye of Insight. Itachi and I, for example, have more advanced Eye of Hypnotism, and our genjutsu is much stronger than that of a normal Sharingan. On the other hand, there has been few Uchihas to have more advanced Eye of Insight. The strongest one known had, with number of tomos like your ability to see fast movements far clearly than normal. Yours, on the other hand, seem to have surpassed even that Sharingan. At Naruto's confused look he elaborated, it seems that you have extremely advanced Eye of Insight. Just at 1 tomo and 1 eye and 2 at another. You are able to already use predictive ability of Sharingan at level of 2 tomos in each eye. Such feat has never been witnessed before. If at 1 and 2 tomos you are able to use predictive ability of Sharingan on such a high level, I can't imagine how powerful your fully matured Sharingan will be. Naruto's eyes widened. His Sharingan was so awesome? But he wasn't even an Uchiha. But the redhead didn't care. It was amazing. I can't wait to train my eyes to their full potential. Naruto, said Shisui in a serious tone, such Sharingan has never been seen before. Even though you are Hokage's son, it will be very dangerous if it was revealed that you have Sharingan, much less one like this. I want you to keep it a secret from anyone other than your parents until you can take care of yourself. Naruto nodded but asked anyway. But why would it be dangerous? Because, there are some people who would do anything for more power. They might manipulate you, or more probably, steal your eyes and use them for themselves. Steal my eyes? He asked, slight fear creeping into his voice. His sensei just nodded. Well, he would keep it a secret for sure. He had absolutely no desire of someone plucking his eyes out. All right, I promise I'll keep it a secret until I can take care of myself. Shisui smiled and nodded. Now, why won't we continue out training? A week later, Naruto sat with his family, eating dinner inside. They paid him less and less attention every day. Whenever they went somewhere, always focus was on Kasumi, rarely on him. If they asked what to do, Kasumi's choice was more important to them than his pretty much ever time. When they asked, "Kids, what do you want?" it was mostly implied as, "Kasumi, what do you want?" It was noticed in public as well, people of the village, who already thought of Kasumi as hero, forgetting about him and always going out of their way to compliment her on everything, even when she didn't deserve it. So, Kasumi, anything interesting happened today? Asked Minato as Kasumi began recounting a boring story about how she, Ino and Sakura played some sort of game and so on. She always has friends surrounding her everywhere she goes, but no matter. I still have Shisui and some others. As they finished eating, Naruto went to take shower while Minato and Kushina took Kasumi into backyard for training. Today Minato had gotten a day off saying he had something important to do. As he got out of shower, dried himself and dressed up, he was about to leave the house when something white caught his eye. Looking to where his family was, he noticed Jiraiya, his father's sensei, and arrived. Interested in what he was doing here, since it had been years since he had visited, Naruto stayed hidden inside the building and listened. With Kasumi, this useless leaf concentration practice was going to drive her insane. Why was it so hard? She could barely keep it for 5 minutes before it fell off. At least she was doing better than her brother. Well, as far as she knew, at least. Speaking of her brother, she just couldn't get him. He was always moody, quiet, and was growing away from them. She couldn't get why. He was barely punished, did almost whatever he wanted, yet he always seemed sad. What was his problem? She didn't hate him or anything, but he was just too different, and she didn't try to get close to him. Sure, he wasn't getting training from their parents or attention from the village, but it wasn't her fault. She was just special, while he was normal. Oh, she couldn't be farther from truth. Today was quite good though, her father stayed home and they were together. Kasu-chan, stop practicing and come here, her mother called out. Sighing in relief that this hellish exercise was finally over, she opened her eyes. Great. Just when everything was going okay, he had to come. Eh? What is stupid Arrow Sennin doing here? She asked, or rather demanded. Jiraiya just cried anime tears, no one was appreciating him these days. Actually, he is reason why I wanted to stay home today, answered her father. Looking at him questioningly, he explained. We have a gift for you, Kasumi. No faster than he finished the sentence, Kasumi was upon him. She loved gifts, though by no means she was deprived of them. Opposite, actually, she got a lot of them, unlike her brother. What is it? Minato chuckled and pried her away. Giving Jiraiya a nod, white-haired man took the large scroll from his back and opened it. I and Jiraiya decided to give you the summoning contract for toads, exclaimed the blonde Hokage. Kasumi's eyes widened and she formed a huge grin. Amazing, Datbeo. Where do I sign it? Back with Naruto. Noro couldn't believe it. A summoning scroll? For toads no less? Just when she was 7. She couldn't use it at least until she would be 10, with amount of chakra required for a high-level summon. Yet they gave it to her now, out of blue, not even for a birthday or some kind of celebration. He couldn't help but feel pang of jealousy. She got everything, ranging from attention of their parents, to all friends she wanted, praises from villagers, now this. What was he? A chopped liver? He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth in anger. It didn't matter. He didn't need them. He would get strong without. He had Shisui. Flashback start. Some months ago, Naruto and his family were in the park. His mother was on far side of the place, conversing with other parents, while his sister was playing hide and seek with others. Hey, it's not like I got anything else to do, as he started making his way to the kids. He noticed how his sister left the game temporarily, going to Kushina, for something he didn't know and didn't honestly care. Sure, he didn't like playing some pointless games, but he was bored, and besides, this was hide and seek, easy, since he had some training about stealth from Shisui. Kasumi had been trained as well, sure, but stealth definitely wasn't her forte. He was sure if he got serious, none of the kids would find even a small clue about him. Putting on a smile, he walked up to other kids. Hey, I want to join in the game too, he called out. Others look at him oddly. Play? You actually want to play? But I thought you never did? Hokage's loser son finally begs to play? One of the kids mocked. Begs? Beg? He begged them? Just thought itself was laughable to him. To beg to some idiots to let him play. PHF'd right. Okay, he could forgive one slip-up, but Hokage's loser son. Where did that come from? Anger rising, he thought, Hokage's loser son. They also thought of Kasumi like a hero, yet him a loser? His bangs shadowing his eyes, he growled at the kids, surprising them. I may be many things. Kids actually took few steps back from amount of venom in his voice. Naruto suddenly looked at them, eyes no longer shadowed, which were wide open, glaring at them with so much hatred that some almost pissed themselves, while cheeks under his eyes had an ominous shadows cast on them. But loser is not one of them. Say that again and you'll regret it. Kids just stayed silent, trembling at killing intent he was unknowingly directing at them, showing a large demonic figure behind him. Turning around, he scoffed at how pathetic they were. He couldn't believe that he actually wanted to spend time with them. Walking towards gate, where all the parents were, Kasumi passed him, heading back to the children, and she looked at him with an inquisitive gaze, probably interested where he was going. He just ignored her and continued his way. Not even stopping near his parents, he said, I'll be going home, Ka-san. I'm feeling slightly sick. Kushina looked at him with worried look. Want me to come? No, I can take care of myself. It's nothing serious, just slight headache. You sure? His mother persisted. But he wasn't in mood for some pointless talk, so he simply nodded and continued walking. As he walked a fair amount of distance away from his mother, he clenched his fists and punched a tree beside him so hard that he caused cracks to spread around it, while drawing blood from his knuckles and fingers. But he didn't care. A loser son of Hokage? He'd show them all. I'll become the most powerful ninja Konoha has ever produced, that's a promise. Let's see who'll think of calling me that again. He wouldn't be known as son of Hokage, much less a loser. He would make his name feared throughout the world, where enemies would tremble in terror when hearing it. Flashback end. If his parents didn't need him, then he didn't need them either. Uchiha or not, he had Sharingan, and he had fallen into curse of hatred, 1. With Kushina. While Kushina smiled as she saw her daughter receive an important gift such as summoning contract, she couldn't help but think of her son, Naruto. He was slowly pushing away from them. But was it really his fault? When she thought about it, it wasn't his fault at all. Reflecting on her memories, she put herself in his shoes, and understood exactly why he was acting like he was. She cursed herself for her ignorance and stupidity. How could she not have noticed until now? Even though she was surprised that he kept quiet, but it wasn't a good thing. She would have blown up long ago, yet he barely uttered a complaint. Bottling up emotions wasn't good, not at all, especially for a kid. She felt something, and turning around saw her sound walking away from window, only head visible, noticing his gritted teeth. Guilt consumed her. What kind of mother was she? Not wanting to ruin Kasumi's happy moment, she resolved herself to talk to Minato later. Evening, private room. So, what did you want to talk to me about, Kushina? Asked Minato as she set up silence barrier around the room. Have you noticed anything about Naruto? She asked, wanting to get him to realize their situation instead of telling him the answer directly. About Naruto? Well, not much, why ask? Kushina sighed. Was she this oblivious as well? Haven't you noticed that he's been pushing away from us, more and more as time goes? Minato blinked. Now that he know about it, Naruto's relationship with them wasn't great indeed. But why? Naruto's always been quiet child, never seeking any attention. Now, remember all times we were together, and put yourself in his shoes. Minato did as ordered and soon his eyes widened. Whenever they went to eat somewhere in public, They had all but ignored Naruto's suggestions and favored Kasumi's requests. Same with everything else. Looking deeper into his memories, he remembered Naruto as a child few years ago, energetic boy always seeking attention of his everyone. Yes, Minato, we did this. Now it's time to at least try to fix our mess. Minato could only nod. He vowed to make it up to his son. Time skip 1 year, Naruto age of 8. Ready? Come, Naruto, said Shisui as he got into position. Activating his Sharingan, which now had 2 tomos in each eye, Naruto charged at Shisui. While charging with normal speed, which was about same as average genin speed, pretty impressive for 8-year-old, he suddenly brought up his right hand in a one-handed half-ram seal. Shunshin no Jutsu, he thought as his speed suddenly skyrocketed, appearing behind Shisui. He was student of famed Shunshin no Shisui after all, and body flicker technique was his first and very few techniques he knew. Even though he could copy techniques, he didn't see the reason, as at such a young age he didn't have enough chakra to use a technique higher than a C rank easily. He worked hard on it, though for now it was more like a combat-utilized D-rank extreme speed technique instead of Shisui's D turned to rank 1, which was faster than even that of a 4th Hokage. Not bad, thought Shisui. Suddenly, Naruto unsealed a katana, smaller size than normal, though still quite large for his small body. It had 1.5-handed hilt, which was made for one-handed usage, though could be used with 2 hands. I'm not making it up, it does exist. And I'm too lazy to describe it, so just Google Ichigo's Fullbring Bankai and imagine it with a smaller blade and hilt. Only sword, not the outfit. It was Shisui's gift for his birthday, and he absolutely loved it. It was just right for him, beautiful yet deadly, and he took great care of the weapon. He swung it as hard as he could, aiming to bifurcate Shisui. But far faster than he could, Uchiha Prodigy brought his hand into same seal as he did before, and disappeared. Naruto's Sharingan could track his movements, but his body was only barely able to react. Ducking, Naruto placed one of his onto the ground, and spun, trying to sweep Shisui's feet, but his opponent jumped over his legs. Naruto allowed small smirk to come to his face. Bingo! Not stopping his motion, he lifted his hand weapon free hand, which before was on ground to help him keep balance. He continued spinning on his leg, his now free hand quickly going to his pouch. Taking out a kunai, he threw at one of the ninja wires, setting the trap that barraged Shisui with dozens of kunai and shuriken. Then, he stopped his spin, placing his outstretched leg almost parallel to the gowned, 90-degree angle to Shisui. Naruto, still ducked, swung his sword upwards at Shisui from below, effectively trapping him between 2 rather sharp attacks. Yes, not bad indeed, thought Shisui as he balanced on the sword with soles of his feet on each side of flat of the blade, blocking it, while taking out a kunai and deflecting all the objects thrown at him. At same time, he put his one foot forward, and pushing against the blade with both of his feet, he forced it out of Naruto's grip, having sword turn around on its axis, handle towards him while point towards Naruto. As he was falling down, Uchiha let go of his kunai, grabbing handle of Naruto's sword, and taking a step forward without lifting his foot of the ground. He thrust his sword at Redhead's throat at very high speed, and faster than Namikaze could dodge. Shisui held point of his own sword over his jugular. Naruto could only sigh. I can't even last 2 minutes against you, Shisui-sensei, he whined slightly. Shisui chuckled. Even though he hadn't even used 1/5 of his speed, much less fought seriously, Naruto's attack would have been effective against a genin, perhaps even a lesser chunin. Don't worry, I'm sure you will surpass me one day. But you have a lot of work to do. Naruto and Shisui have grown much closer over the year, meeting almost daily, either training or just hanging out. For Naruto, Shisui was his only actual friend, while for Shisui Naruto was a little brother he never had. Okay, now go home, take a shower and get some rest. I can't come here tomorrow, there is an important business I must attend to, so why don't you take a day off? You've been working hard, you need some rest. You already are on an average genin level just at age of 8, no need to rush. Naruto nodded. He almost always obeyed his sensei, knowing he was right most of time. Namikaze house. I'm back, Naruto called out to his family as he entered his house, taking off his shoes. Over time, he noticed his parents improving, but he couldn't just forgive them. After all they had done, it was hard to forget. "Welcome back. How was your day?" asked Kushina as she was preparing dinner. "Nothing special. Just training," he simply waved her off. He wasn't going to explain what happened in details, though he was quite proud of his trick against Shisui today. His sensei was more of a family than his blood one. "You shouldn't train all day, Naru-chan. It's dangerous, especially for a kid." Naruto's eyebrow twitched. Naru-chan. A downside of his mother trying to improve his relationship with family. "I wasn't training all day. I and sensei have rested and spent some time hanging out," he said, slight annoyance showing in his voice on constant questioning of his mother. It was true, his previous spar was one of many followed after Shisui treated him to ramen and they had some fun. Kushina sighed inwardly. How was she going to bond with her son if he kept brushing her every attempt off? But she was Kushina Uzumaki, she didn't give up that easily. "Databane. I'll take a shower," Naruto informed her as he left the room. Next morning, Naruto woke up and after standing up, saw a letter lying on his desk. Picking it up, he opened it. "Naruto, meet me at out secret place, as soon as you read this. Make sure you're alone. Shisui." Wondering what Shisui wanted, as he said that he would be busy today, Naruto got dressed and jumped out of window. Their secret place was a place they sometimes went to relax. Very few knew of the place, and even fewer visited, so it was perfect change for the energy-filled atmosphere of their training ground. As he got there, he saw Shisui sitting, leaning on the tree. But as he turned around, Naruto gasped. Shisui was missing an eye, with blood flowing down his face. "Shisui-sensei!" Naruto yelled in alarm as he ran to his teacher. "What happened?" "Wait, I'll go get a doctor," Naruto said as he turned around to go look for Tsunade but couldn't go far since a hand had firmly grasped his wrist. Turning back around, he stared, surprised at Uchiha's actions, who shook his head. "Don't. There's a reason why I called for you alone. Sit down." Scarlet-haired boy reluctantly complied, seeing as he had no other choice. "I will tell you something, Naruto, that you should keep a secret no matter what. Promise me." And Naruto promised. "You see, something has been going with Uchiha clan. What you know about Kyuubi's attack isn't truth." Seeing Naruto's shocked and confused face, he explained, "It wasn't as simple as Kyuubi forcing its way out of the seal. Your father would have held it. An unknown masked man with Sharingan attacked during the childbirth, catching the fox under genjutsu and extracting it from the seal when it was weak because of childbirth. It has been hidden from public due to safety reasons, but rumors still got out. Some people have been blaming Uchiha clan for the attack. Your father tried to dissuade that idea, but not many listened. Tension has escalated, and Uchiha have begun planning a coup d'état. I and Itachi worked as double agents for Konoha, relying information about my clan. You don't know it, but there is another form of Sharingan. A form evolving beyond 3 Mode 1, the Mangekyo Sharingan. Very few have unlocked it, me including. My special technique is Kotoa Matsukami, genjutsu enabling me to implant false memories and manipulate people temporarily. I have been ordered by your father to use it on Uchiha clan head to buy some time, but a power-hungry man wanting to do things his way has stolen one of my eyes. Now it would arouse too many suspicions if I arrived with one eye, so plan is foiled. I can't continue to live anymore, Naruto. Said boy looked at him with even more shocked expression. What? His tone was quiet but disbelief was noticeable in the voice. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I have to destroy my corpse to make it look like a suicide. But, I want to entrust my remaining eye to you. Never give it to anyone, or tell about it, even to your parents, until you have at least achieved S-class level. But, no, don't leave me, Shisui. Shisui smiled sadly. I'm sorry, Naruto, but this is for the good of the village. Itachi will exterminate the clan himself. What? Ignoring the interruption, Shisui continued. If the coup occurs, civil war will take place, and it will spark the fourth great ninja war. My eyes are extremely dangerous, Naruto. If they fall into wrong hands, it will spell disaster. You are the closest person to me, and there is no one I would entrust my eye to other than you. Please, will you keep it? He ended sentence in pleading tone. Tears flowed out of Naruto's eyes like waterfall, but he nodded nonetheless. Smiling, Shisui took a brush and after pricking Redhead's finger with a kunai and taking some of his blood, he drew a seal on boy's right shoulder and soon enough, he created a special blood seal. Then, he plucked out his remaining eye, and putting it into a jar containing special liquid, screwed the lid shut tightly and gave it to boy to seal it. It's a special sealing technique, Naruto. It will take your blood, chakra and will itself to open it. If anyone asks, just say it is a special weapon. Before I go, I have some last words. Find Nakano Shrine main temple in the Uchiha compound, enter it and on the far right side, under 7th tatami, there is a special place. Go there when the mess will be cleaned up. I know you don't have good relationship with your family, but I've seen that they are honestly trying to fix their mistakes. Give them a chance. I'm not asking to forget or forgive them easily. No, never forget it, and forgiving might take some time, but please consider it. Don't hate them, or the village for ordering this to happen. I can see that you've already fallen to curse of hatred. Every Sharingan user has, but very few have been able to overcome it. I believe you can as well. I know that, with your skill, you will be able to graduate from academy already, but don't. There is no war, and there is no rush. Use that time wisely, train and make new friends. I know one day you will become great ninja. I love you and always will, Naruto. Sayonara, Ototo, too, were his final words before he fell down from the very tall cliff into the swift and wild river. If Shisui still had his eyes, he would see Naruto Sharingan activate, spinning, and add another tomo, fully maturing it. Then, it changed into a completely different shape, I can't describe the shape, so just looked Otto's story's picture. But young male Namikaze didn't care, and ignored it. A slight burning in his eyes or improvement of vision was absolutely nothing when compared to pain he felt in his heart. Scarlet-haired boy just fell onto his knees, and cried out, Shisui. He stayed there all the remaining day, which, considering it was just morning, was a lot, and cried his heart out. As night came he fell into deep sleep, but his last thoughts were something that he would stick by in coming years. I will fulfill your requests and I won't fail you, sensei. That's all for now. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments.